Hi, I'm Marcus Boyce and welcome to another episode of Lord Splodge Shorts. And in this episode we're going to take a look at the controversial Final Cut Pro 10. Now I'm not going to wade in on the is this or isn't this a professional video editing application. There's enough of that floating around the internet at the moment. I'm not a professional video editor. However, I will have to say it is quite different from Final Cut Pro 7. With further ado, let's take a look at the new Final Cut Pro 10. One thing I've noticed is it runs a lot slower on my iMac than Final Cut Pro 7. I've seen the spinning beach ball a few times. Now, it's only crashed once, but for example, this Star Wars style intro here, when I first put it on, it brought Final Cut to its knees. It was just unresponsive, and took about 5 minutes before it let me get on. But we'll have a look at why I think it did that later. First of all, let's take a look at the new interface. Now, as you can see, if you're familiar with iMovie, it looks a lot like iMovie. There is this one window. There is no separate windows, which can be a bit of a blow if you've got two monitors. So first thing, you can get to the file menu for new project, new event, and so on up there. But if we click here in this new event, we'll notice we can import files, which will bring up the sort of Finder import files window. There are some features at the bottom here. You can copy the file to the Final Cut events folder, import them as keyword collections, create optimized media, create proxy media. Now, this is quite useful, especially on older machines like my 27-inch iMac, because if you tell Final Cut to use proxy media, the bar at the bottom when you're doing edits and filters and so on is a bit more responsive. In fact, we'll look at that now. So your file preferences. One thing you'll notice if you've used Final Cut before is this preference box here has a hell of a lot less options in it. By default, you'll have use original or optimized media and higher quality or better performance. And I've changed it to use proxy media, and that made this bar more responsive, especially when I was doing graphics intensive cutscenes like this fancy one there. You can also import from the camera. Click here and you'll get the eyesight there because it's got an eyesight on this camera. You can also import from any cameras connected. So here's my iPhone, and you'll notice that the videos on the iPhone are there and you can scrub through them. You can then mark ones for selection and do an import selected. You can also import camera archives from your Macintosh's hard drive, like so. So getting media in is nice and simple. And after I said, you can create optimized media, proxy media. You can analyze the video for stabilization and rolling shutter, balance color, find people, create smart collections after analysis, and also fix audio problems. So you can do a lot as you import the media. And when you import the media, what you'll get is instant access to it. There's the media I imported before. What Final Cut will do is those optimizations will take place in the background. So you'll have a just explain, there's a little bar here. At the moment it's at 100% because it's not doing any background rendering. But if it was, I click on it, and here it tells me it's stopped rendering. It's at 61%. When you did an initial import, you'd get a progress bar here for transcoding and analysis and importing media. But while that's going off, you can still work on your clips. So you can drag them in even whilst they're being encoded in the background. That's a pretty neat feature. To create a new project, you've got options. You can go down here and click New Project. We'll give it a name. We'll call this one and we can pick a default event for it. I'm going to use the demo footage event. We can set the video properties based on the first clip I import, or we can use custom ones. In this case I'm going to tell it to set automatically. And again, the audio and render properties, so we're going to go for surround sound 48 kHz ProRes 422. And there we go, we've got a new blank project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this picture here, and if I move to the end, I'm just going to want to select this bit here, and then once we've got that selected, so that's an in and out point in essence, we'll drag that here, and there it is on the timeline. And we'll pick another clip, and we'll use this full clip this time. Now you'll notice it snaps magnetically to the next clip. So I've got a clip of my cat in the bushes and then my cat on the fence. So what we want is a little transition. So over on the right hand side of the screen, we've got the transition browser. A lot of these look like they've come from iMovie. But we just want a simple dissolve here, so we'll drag that, and again it just drops in place. As you can see, Final Cut Pro 10 has managed to show me an approximation of the dissolve, and it's the timer on the background chart is ticking up as we see, and there we go, now it's fully rendered. There we go. With the inspector shown here, it gives me options. So the video options, I've got colour, balance, match colour. So we can match the colour. Skim any crypto frame that the colour want. So I want this green. And now you'll notice that it's applied that green tint to this video, which is pretty neat if you would need to colour match two videos. In this case it's not really done much for it, but and you've got other options, audio and info. It tells me it's a 720p HD, it's taken on an iPhone. As well as transitions, you've got text, so lower thirds, or title. So we'll just drag the title to where we want it at the front. It moves everything out of the way. To edit the title, we'll click on it. We get the inspector for the title. So the text, well, let's see. There we go, Cat Night, and we can select the font. And any other effects that we want to do. And again, the background render bar is kicked off, but because I'm using proxy media, Final Cut Pro 10 is doing a reasonable job of keeping up. One neat feature is if you have lots of clips together with music and so on, what we'll do is we'll take this sound effect and drop it onto the timeline there. Now we've got a title, a transition, a sound effect, and 2 video clips. So what we'll do is holding Command down. Holding Command down with the select tool enabled, we'll select them all and we'll right click, new compound clip, or Command G, and that makes it 1 clip, which means you can move that around. So let's put another clip in. So there we go, we've got a compound clip and this clip here, and we can now move that around as 1, and all the effects and transitions are moved as 1. There's lots of other things you can do. You can insert photos, you can actually change the look of the film. So this one here, well, let's say day to night. What we'll do is we'll scrub that onto there, and there we go, and that's Final Cut attempting to make it look like night. I've only just began to play around with Final Cut Pro 10. For the price, and as long as Apple improve the performance, it's not bad. Again, I'm not a professional video editor, so some of the features have gone from Final Cut Pro 7. Don't bother me, they might you. Unfortunately, because it's in the App Store, there's no way of getting the demo. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another Lord Splodge screencast soon.